I'm getting ready to make a altered piece or two for Raku firing, and I wanted to just you have to understand this is really not easy for me to do with the birds. I really wanted to get the sounds of the Udu drums that I posted recently, so that you can just hear what they sound like, the different sizes, and it's impossible. When I videotape down here, I use my small camera, and the audio on it is horrible. I did do some recording upstairs in between the bird screams and kind of piece together a little soundtrack, and that's what I'll be playing in this video in the background. Please forgive me, I've never played any kind of percussion instrument, and I haven't really played keyboards or my bass guitar for it's been a couple of years. So take it for what it's worth. It was just something fun to do, and but this is what they sound like. Two ports and the two tin can thumb drums, I'm calling them, and they do have a different tone, and by covering the ports you can change them even more. A decorative piece that you can also tap on if you have a desire to do so. They do have actually a really good sound. Like all small Udus, though, if you intended on playing this in public or in a band or whatever, you would have to use a microphone and amplify it. I told you I stink. Mr. Alien. I use the same horrible beat every time I play, don't I? Of all the ones that I just made, Uncle Udu actually has the best tinny sound for tapping on the side. I made his puffy face a little bit on the thin side to try to get a multiple resonance in this piece. You notice that even though the ports are different sizes on this one, the sounds that they produce aren't that different, and that's one of the problems with having a high Q of the enclosure itself, is that everything else gets canceled out, and you have a tendency to have a real almost like monotone. They're very, very close, even though they should be really different. If the enclosure was bigger, they would be very different. So basically what I'm getting to is to get a large amount of volume out of a small Udu, you have to have the frequencies tuned to the inside of the enclosure with a high Q. Generally you get a low output because they're tuned to the inside of the enclosure. It's going to be very loud, but musically it's not going to have as good of a sound. So if you were looking for a particular Udu, small Udu to play live, this one would be a good choice, as long as you don't do a lot of tapping, and if you do, you have it mic'd. But it definitely would need equalization if it was played through a PA, because it has a very narrow resonant frequency of the ports. So I hope I explained that. That's what I've been doing for the last 23 years, is building enclosures, and an Udu is just an enclosure. So it's been very interesting. I really suck.